everyone, and you're welcome back. Today I'm back with another banging recipe, which is the famous Fanti Fanti. Growing up in the fishing community, I ate this a lot and I absolutely loved it. The freshness of the fish, the crunchy onions, and the soft spiciness of this meal just made it perfect with some soft banku or some soft gari. I absolutely adored it. And over the years, I've recreated it and made it into the way I love it. And I hope that you'd like to learn it and try it in your own time. So to start with, I cut my fish into my desired shape and sizes. And then I add onions, peppers, anise seeds, cloves, some cumin, and some garlic to a blender. And I add in some ginger. I had some blended ginger, so that's what I added. I season my fish with some salt and this all-purpose seasoning that I made, which I'll leave the details in the description box below. So I toss and throw the fish around just to make sure that all the seasoning gets to every part of the fish. I add in the blended spices as well, and then I make sure that it's coated, or the fish is coated in all the seasoning, and then I wrap it up and then I put it in the fridge for about 2 hours or maybe an hour. That works. And then I make my banku. Look at how soft and how great it looks already. And then I cut up some onions. I'm using 4 large onions. It really depends on the quantity. I had quite a lot of fish, and I love a lot of onions as well. And so I cut up 2 large onions. I sliced them up and then I chopped or diced some onions just to fry in the beginning. And so these are the 2 ways I cut my onions. And then I cut up some fresh tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes is very important in this dish. I don't use any tomato puree. So in a big pot, I will fry in some onions with just a little oil to kind of soften the onions, and also season it with some all-purpose seasoning and some salt. I do this just to kind of give the onion some flavor, which I would use at the latter parts of this dish. And so I just do it to my preference and then I set it aside. In the same pot, I'll add in some red oil and I will add in my chopped onions. I make sure that it fries for some time just so that it releases all the sweetness, and then I add in some bay leaves. Not much, just about 1 full bay leaf. And then I add in my blended tomatoes, some peppers, and some onions. And then I cook it down till all the water is evaporated. At this point, most of the water is gone, and you can see as the oil has settled on top. And my fish has been in the fridge for about over an hour now. And so I'm going to put the fish in the stew when most of the water has evaporated so that it can take its time to cook. After I've put the fish in, I'm going to collect all the seasoning that is left in the bowl, and then I put it in the stew. And then I cover it up and let it boil for some time. Just cook through, slowly cook through so that the fish would release all its juices. And then I season it with some white pepper. I added in a bit of salt because I just wanted to kind of add a bit more because it wasn't enough. But as it stays on the fire and cooks slowly, it just looks perfect. The fish is cooked. I don't cook it too much because I usually don't like the fish overly done. So I put in my caramelized onions and add in some peppers for extra heat, and then I cover it halfway and just leave it to cook through and through, and it just looks amazing. My kitchen smells wonderful. My banku was already done and it was soft. It was so tasty, and this is my meal. And honestly, I devoured this dish. I thought it was just so tasty. It was so sweet because of the caramelized onions and the peppers, and it was just absolutely delicious, and I enjoyed it. I hope that you make time to try it. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section.